Welcome back to another episode of the Throwdown, where the Technodrome decides what is best, what is worst, who is right, and when Duffy is wrong, which is every week.
Hey. Hey.
This week, our subject will be our favorite childhood athlete. And we're going to try to stick to the 80s/90s as our time frame because that's when we were children. Now, I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock.
All right.
And
you have your gong with you, or do you need me to take care of that?
I need you to ring your gong, if you don't mind, because
Never had one and asked me that before.
Just turn your camera off when you do, please.
All right, let me know when you want me to ring it.
I think we're ready. Are you ready, Cast?
Yeah, always.
All right, go for it. Mr. Castagna, let's go to you, buddy. Who was your favorite childhood athlete?
So I'm going to go a little against the grain here, I think, since I'm the lone boxing fan here. I'm going with the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely had awareness of Mike Tyson growing up when he was, just demolishing people. And obviously a little too young for when he first became champion, but I still can pretty clearly remember when he lost to Buster Douglas, and it was just like earth-shattering. And I was
remember
really
that
young, but yeah, like he was just an unstoppable force. And yeah, I mean, he's had a pretty crazy life. He's a pretty crazy guy. But I guess this would be like the third act of his life, he's still, people just are so interested in him, and he's become very self-aware. He's become pretty, he's a smart guy. He's not educated, but he's actually pretty intelligent. And a guy, came from the worst area in Brooklyn and became one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time and the most compelling person in all sports, arguably, for about a 5-year run. So yeah, I'm going with Mike Tyson.
I have to say, though, it's amazing that he came back from that broken back.
Ugh.
Spinal.
It's a full spinal. Yeah. It's a devastating, debilitating injury for any normal human, but not Mike Tyson, of course.
And he won that fight.
Yeah. All right. Good pick. I like it. Duffy, who you got?
I'm going to go with somebody more influential to me from the late 90s. He was around early-ish to mid-90s when he started his career. I'm a huge baseball fan, as I know we've discussed. I'm a huge New York Mets fan, as we have discussed. And I am a huge Mike Piazza fan that we have not discussed. Hall of Famer, catcher extraordinaire, drafted in like the last round to the Dodgers as a, kind of like a thank you, kind of like a little gift to Tommy Lasorda, to just say like, hey, can you draft him just as like a favor to me? Turns out to be, one of the best hitting catchers to ever have played the game. Came with the Dodgers, played there for a little bit, had a pretty good career with them. And then he had a cup of coffee with the Marlins before he came over to the New York Metropolitans and, kind of turned the franchise around a little bit during those, those dark days of the 90s and, got into the playoffs a couple of years, got into the World Series. And unfortunately, they lost to another evil franchise across town. Don't want to talk about that, but yeah, he just, I don't know. There's something about him. I just, gravitated towards his personality. He made the baseball just look so tiny when he would make contact with it. And he was a catcher, which is, in my opinion, one of the hardest positions to play day in and day out. So I got to give it to Mike Piazza. That's my guy. And yeah, he's still up there for me today.
Awesome. He's a tremendous player. Yeah, this all-time legend. All right, so it's up to me. I have been donning my Yankee gear, but I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Uh-oh.
My favorite childhood athlete from, let's say, about 1992 until the late 90s is this guy. The excellence of execution, the hitman himself, Bret Hart. Yes, I'm going into professional wrestling for my favorite athlete because we all know how much of a huge fan of the WWF/WWE that I was and still am. That's correct. Yes. Bret Hart. So at a time in wrestling when there was a steroid trial going on and, these big beefed up Hulk Hogan's and Ultimate Warriors, were starting to go by the wayside as we got into the 90s. And it got more into, I want to say average. I mean, Bret Hart is a pretty big guy, but not these huge muscle bound freaks. And these guys that could actually wrestle, technical wrestlers, submission wrestlers. And Bret Hart was the pinnacle of that for me, for all of wrestlers. I mean, this guy, he is a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, a 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, 5-time World Champion, just one of the all-time greats, one of those names that transcended pop culture for a little while there in the 90s. From when I was in that youngster age, 10, 12, 10, 11, 12 years old, he was everything for me. I had posters up in my room, just really connected with his personality. He was my all-time favorite. So that's my pick, is Bret Hart. The timer is up. 5 minutes is up. And I'm going to throw it back to Castagna. Any closing comments? Any honorable mentions? What do you got?
All solid picks. I loved Bret Hart too. I was a big wrestling fan when I was a kid. And then in the Attitude Era, but not really since. And Bret Hart will tell you himself that he's the greatest wrestler of all time.
That's right.
Yeah, Bret Hart was great. I liked Mike Piazza a lot too. I liked him even before he came to New York. He was one of the big names. One of the things I never really got, and I don't really get why it would matter anyway, but I remember there's always rumors that Mike Piazza was gay, and it's like, well, why would you think he's gay? And oh, because he hangs out with all these Playboy models. It's like, that's how you tell?
What? Yeah, something's turned up there.
Yeah. He actually has done guest vocals on some heavy metal albums too, which is pretty cool. He seems
really?
Like he's just like a cool guy.
I think that was during his time when he was dyeing his, putting the little yellow highlights.
Yeah, the streaks.
Nice.
Honorable mention would probably be Don Mattingly. I was a big Don Mattingly fan. Obviously
Donnie
before
Baseball.
He left the Yankees. Yeah, he was awesome. And then it's a shame that they waited till he left to win. But watching him hit that home run against the Mariners in the '95 playoffs was something. That was great.
Yeah, great moment. Great moment. All right, Duffy. Any?
I think my honorable mentions are gonna go to a couple players. One in particular. I mean, I didn't really follow their careers that much, but it's more of just looking back at their careers in general. That's kind of made me really appreciate what they were able to do over the course of their careers. And I'm gonna go with two guys who played two sports, and both of them played both of the same sports: baseball and football. I'm going to start off with primetime Deion Sanders. I'm going to go that route, and he played baseball for a while, Braves. I think he played for the Yankees for a little bit too. Speedster. In football he was more defense and playing the corner. I think he'd occasionally drop into that wide receiver role, but returning kicks. There's that famous Burger King commercial, I think, where he's they overlay the king as one of those returns, I think, from prime time there. And then the other guy I'm going to throw out here, I think we've referred to him in a video game that we talked about, Mr. Bo Jackson. I mean, this guy was a freak. I've never seen someone be able to play the caliber of baseball and football the way that this guy did. I mean, if he could just play one of those sports the way he did, it was amazing. But yeah, those are my two kind of honorable mentions for just unbelievable athletes, in my opinion.
It's a sin that he got hampered by injuries, because who knows what he would have accomplished in both sports.
Exactly.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
Just dominant. Great mentions there, Duffy. The other one I was obviously going to mention was Derek Jeter. I think that would have been a little cliche, but huge part of my childhood. I'm sure for Castagna there too. Just
one of the core four.
One of the core four. That's right. Just a legendary New York figure, legendary baseball player, first ballot Hall of Famer, just a stand-up guy.
Owner of the Marlins.
Well, yeah, until he cut bait a couple of months ago. We'll welcome him back home when he's ready. He ought to come back to a winner. But yeah, Jeter would probably be my honorable mention, and maybe Shaq, because I loved Shaq as a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting to see Jeter play is like our generation's Mantle, DiMaggio, Babe Ruth, not power-wise, but as far as New York legends and Hall of Famers, that was ours.
Doesn't get more clutch than Derek Jeter.
Oh, boy.
All right. I think that's all we got for today. I thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to follow us on social media on Instagram and TikTok at Throwbacks Technodrome Pod, where we try to drop some daily posts with clips of our show and different things. Be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and of course here on
Give us
YouTube.
5 stars and like them.
Yeah, be sure. Yeah, we want those 5 stars because
Write some kind words about us.
Yes,
Please.
we love the reviews. Those are even better than the 5 stars. And of course, here on YouTube, if you're not already liking and subscribing and commenting, be sure to do that because we enjoy talking with you all out there in the cyber world. So until next time, we will see you later. Bye-bye now.
Bye.